In recent weeks, many residents in Lagos and perhaps the whole of Nigeria and those in the diaspora have taken up to this discourse about the proposed demolition of the iconic landmark beach. Well, not the entire beach, but part of it. And it's to make way for the construction of a coastal road. The question is, why is this happening to the most visited beach here in Lagos? And that's what I'm about to discuss today on Tales. Welcome back to Tales. My name is Fumi. In today's episode, let's talk about the most discussed topic yet in the whole of Lagos and perhaps even in Nigeria ever since Nigeria lost to AFCON a few months ago. Get that? So something is coming, something big, a massive project is coming that is capable to ease traffic congestion and boost economic development. And this project, unfortunately, has sparked heated debate and divided opinions. And that project is the Coastal Road Project, which is going to connect 9 states in Nigeria. It is a 700-kilometer Lagos to Calabar coastal highway, and it is going to be on a 47.47-kilometer dual carriageway. So 5 lanes on each side and a train track in the middle. I mean, this on its own should be exciting time for any Nigerian, perhaps any Lagosian. Unfortunately, it's not for so many people. The proposed coastal road construction is to take part from the Iru area local government of Lagos. And this part has so many infrastructures, has so many businesses on ground. And the one we're going to highlight today, which is causing all of this rancor, is the landmark beach of Lagos, which actually is the most visited beach here in Lagos. So, as mentioned earlier, the beach is going to be one of the affected businesses along this corridor. As part of its 13-hectare mixed-use property falls within the right-of-way alignment by 50 meters. And the likely areas to be affected in this beach, such as the beach resort, the Kids Bay area, it has a mini club which is known as the Lagos Beach Club, amongst others, and those are likely to be demolished if it is affected. So that means if the coastal road goes through this corridor, those parts highlighted will be gone and many others as well. Now, besides being one of the favorites of so many in Lagos, Landmark Beach has so many shops. At the time of filming this video, it was my intention, now that's the Lagos Beach Club I mentioned, it was my intention to just cover and highlight the properties and the structures on the beach because there's so many. This was even done way before the news came out. I just wanted to talk about and highlight the businesses on the beach. Landmark Beach has so many shops. It has healthcare, education, hotels, and many other facilities. And this is where the proponents for the beach staying are coming from, saying, hey, it's going to destroy the livelihood of so many. It's going to create mass unemployment for business owners who depend on the beach for their daily living, for their livelihood. Now, on the other hand, which is where the parallel lines, where the Gulf exists, the other side of the water, is where the proponents that are saying, hey, this is an infrastructure we have been praying for. On the other hand, those canvassing for the construction are far many. In fact, they cut across not just Lagos State, but 8 other states in Nigeria, which is where the coastal road is going to pass through. Now, these states in total are 9 in number. They are Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, Delta, Bayelsa, Port Harcourt, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, and 2 other northern states in the country. So you see why I say the numbers that are canvassing for the construction are way many. Ononoms, which by the way is a popular pidgin slang, you may say that is quite popular here in Nigeria. And ononoms mean on a normal day. Imagine if development has not gotten to this corridor yet, we probably would not be having this discussion because it would be so easy to start construction without saying, okay, we're considering your house or your structures or things like that because it's going to be bare. Imagine taking this kind of thing on Lagos Ibadan where say more than 60% is just forest and bushes. But it's different now because there's so many businesses involved. And that is why we're talking about this now. So many people have argued, saying that, we understand the concerns raised by the public, but in reality, the construction of a coastal road like this is crucial not just for the development of Lagos, but also for Nigeria. And the reason is because it's going to enhance connectivity, it's going to stimulate economic growth, and improve overall infrastructure for Nigerians. It's going to connect key areas of Lagos. It's going to enhance transportation links along the coast. Imagine getting to Calabar in the nick of time without having to go through the road travels and the hills ascribed to traveling on that side of the country. Imagine that. Imagine going to the north also in the nick of time. There's so many advantages that come with this construction. To strike a balance, the truth is that we must look at all the sides. And in this ongoing debate over the proposed coastal road projects in Lagos, we need to draw parallels from other previous large-scale infrastructure developments in the city. And what comes to my mind is comparing the coastal road construction with that of the Blue Line and the Red Line projects in Lagos. Now, almost everyone in Lagos is talking about the metro rails in Lagos, which is the Blue Line and the Red Line, and they were initiated to address transportation challenges in Lagos. And the truth of the matter is that they also face similar controversies and challenges during their construction phases. Did you know several structures had to be demolished before the rail tracks could be put on ground? How many of us remember that? So many people had to lose their homes that they've cherished for years, and they were compensated for it. The construction of the Blue Line and the Red Line project involved significant land acquisition. It involved demolishing properties, displacement of communities, because we had to put the rail tracks on ground in respective routes across the states. Now, while proponents touted the benefits of improved public transportation, and so many critics raised concerns about the social environmental cost attached to it, you would agree that the Blue Line and the Red Line projects now has become a monumental undertaking, and it's aimed at addressing Lagos' chronic traffic congestion and improving connectivity. Wouldn't you say so? And really, if we're to compare the Blue Line projects and the Red Line with this one, lessons can be learned from that. And lessons that could be learned from the construction of the rail project were valuable insights into the importance of transparent communication, community engagement, and most importantly, equitable compensation for those affected. Wouldn't you say? Now that brings me to the issue of compensation. If certain parts of landmark, which is the 50 meters, is going to be affected, what is due to them in terms of equitable compensation? Now, in terms of compensation, one thing is certain, that affected businesses and persons are usually compensated. And in terms of the amount of the cost, you and I probably would never do that, because those type of information are so confidential and really coded. We probably would never do that. But one thing we know is that I don't think the community members would be left alone to bear any burden that comes with this project. I don't think so. We've had other massive projects in Lagos that I already highlighted. The rail, the Red Line, the Blue Line. We're going to have the Green Line and the Purple Line. And obviously, so many structures will still be affected. And I don't think it's something that compensation will not be given out to affected and, what's the word now? Not just affected, but there's some people that will just build structures, illegal structures from the onset. I do not think illegal owners or owners of illegal structures ab initio, which means from the onset, are entitled to benefit in any way from any sort of compensation. But before you can be compensated adequately, you must be able to provide necessary title documents, necessary permits, which to the best of my knowledge, I don't know whether or not Landmark is going to be affected by that. I think they should have their papers Well, what do you think? So, having said all of this, I'm sure you would come to the conclusion that there are two main points. There's this fundamental dilemma, which on one hand, the proposed coastal road promises to alleviate traffic congestion, stimulate economic growth, improve infrastructure for the benefit of all Nigerians, not just Lagosians now. But on the other hand, it threatens the life and the livelihoods of private individuals, including homeowners, business owners, and residents of the affected area of the Iro local government here in Lagos. But one thing a lot of people do not know is that the government reserves the right to acquire. The government actually reserves the right to acquire any property as long as it's for the benefit of the overwhelming or the overriding public interest. Now that's the key word, overriding public interest. Which brings me to the question, do you think the coastal road construction, do you think really the construction of the coastal road that would span 9 states, not just Lagos, do you think it's going to be the interest of the public, or is it going to serve one man? Now I leave you to answer that question truthfully. What do you think? Now I actually I don't expect a one way answer or a straightforward answer, because this actually, like I said, is a very, very thought-provoking question. Some might see it from one hand in analyzing it in a plethora of ways, and another school of thought might say, hey, Fumi, what exactly are you talking about? Businesses will be affected. But to be honest with you, I don't have answers. Perhaps you don't have answers, but there's just something, the overriding public interest. That is the key word you should always bear in mind when it comes to public infrastructures like this. I mean, the bustling streets of Landmark Beach are home to a vibrant array of businesses, and it has quaint cafes to souvenir shops. But this threat of, removing some structures is on the lips of so many. Tourists come here to browse our handmade crafts and souvenirs and soak in the beach atmosphere. In fact, this place usually bubbles at night. I've never been at night, but I've seen so many videos here on YouTube of how vibrant this place is. And the food, the sand, even though it's not natural sand, but there's this white sand across the beach, and so many fear that the businesses will collapse. But I don't think it's going to collapse. Do you think it's going to collapse? I think it's going to even impact this business the more, because it's just going to be, just right on that coastal road. Imagine just saying, oh, Landmark Beach. So many people would even know this beach. I think it's going to be more. I think so. Already some business owners even say they see the potential of having economic benefits of the coastal road and having improved infrastructure, which 100% is likely to attract even more customers and even more investors to this area. It's likely to stimulate growth and even create more job opportunities. Some have argued that it's actually a step in the right direction. But all of this hangs in the balance. Will this go through? Will Landmark Beach be affected? Will the voices of those dissenting, will that be heard? I guess only time will tell. What do you think? In fact, there already is speculation saying that a part of a section of the road is going to be taken through the back of the Landmark Beach, and it might not necessarily affect the beach, hurrah, hooray. But to be honest with you, we have no idea. There's no clear-cut information as to whether or not this will scale through. So in the hopes that it scales through, Landmark Beach definitely will remain. Those businesses, that side of town, those businesses that are early affected are likely to remain. But in the event that it doesn't scale through, within the 50 meters of the landmark beach as we know it, that is going to affect the Lagos Beach Club, the Bay Area, sadly will go. But like I said, the keyword, all will be done in the overriding interests of the public. So, having said all of this today on Tales, what are your thoughts? Do you think Landmark Beach will stay? Or do you think this part of Landmark Beach will go? Like I said earlier, we have no ideas. We are not soothsayers. We don't know what is going to happen. Everyone is watching and waiting, and we're hoping that whatever happens is in the balance, or rather is in the interest of everyone, and everyone gets to win. Everyone has a say, and whatever happens, it still remains a win-win situation for not just the business owner, but also for those of us in the background, the public. And I guess we can only wait and see. That said, if you enjoyed this episode of Tales, because we're already coming to the conclusion of today's episode of Tales, don't forget to let me know what you think, because this is going to be a discourse for years to come. And we would always look back in time to say, hey, this happened to Landmark, or this did not happen to Landmark. It would be nice to have this reference sometime in future. Thank you so much again for watching and staying tuned, and for all the comments and the likes. That I really appreciate that. These are thoughts that we just want to see and just look out for in time, and I'm happy to be documenting this sort of series and stories for your listening and perhaps your viewing pleasure. Don't forget to subscribe and let me know what you enjoyed most about this episode. Until I see you again in my next video or my next episode of Tales, do stay blessed, stay together, and stay safe.